Hello everyone, I am Randy Suarez, aka Silva Pro, sitting back here with another amazing reaction. This time we're back with some more Josh Johnson, and the video's title, Jillian Michaels just became the biggest loser, and it's not about basically the weight. It's not about the weight. Let's just say I actually watched the Biggest Loser documentary that they had on Netflix, and let's just say I always had a weird feeling about the show. Yes, they were trying to do something good, but the thing is, it is TV. It's the reason why I never watched really much The Biggest Loser. Also, same thing with MTV with the with Teen Mom and 16 Pregnant, because something seemed off. But that's my opinion about the whole thing with Biggest Losers, because NBC was in charge of all of that, and it was a big sensation. But let's just say, when it comes to stuff like this, there's always a catch. But anyway, I digress. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Josh Johnson. I will leave the original link to this video down below, so watch. Excuse me. You can watch it uninterrupted. Also, link to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow me on those social platforms. Link to the Discord. Come join the Crow's Nest. Talk to myself. Also, link to the Cashapp. Feel gracious enough to donate whatever you want to donate. It's fine. You don't. It's fine as well. So thanks. But by donating, like, comment, subscribe, sharing all the good stuff, I every show you support. Lets me know you rock with the reaction content, rock with the channel, and rock with your boy. But further ado, buckle up and let's get started. All right, we here with some more Josh Johnson, and you already know the title of the video is about the whole thing with Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser. And again, I watched the documentary. I actually just finished it this morning. But anyway, all I can say is, let's go. Oh, you puppy whoppy.
One thing that is very fun about being in Pittsburgh is your sort of singleness in fandom. The way that you love the Steelers, right? The way that you, yeah. And I saw this story about a woman whose husband sadly passed, and to commemorate him, she kept his Steelers tattoo.
Did she get a tattoo, or did she just, Hannibal Lecter with it? I hope not. Not this guy. Or take a picture of it, something.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
That's too much. That's too much love.
Because initially when I saw it, I was like, what?
Why?
Yeah, no, kept the Steelers tattoo and it's like in a little.
Yeah.
And then in the article, she was like, yes, we kept the tattoo. No, we don't think it's weird. And I was like,
you may not think it's weird, but everybody else, if you want to be Hannibal Lecter with your husband that passed away sadly, go right ahead. But just so you know, that is weird, like abnormally weird. Like it's weird, and there's abnormally weird. I think you crossed that abnormally weird some time ago.
I figured you didn't think it was weird.
For real. Because you did it.
Seems like it was your idea.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wild if you were sitting there holding the plaque like, I can't believe they let us do this. This is... little odd, right?
Mm-hmm. Beyond odd.
And look, I don't know. Wow. Like when I saw it, I was like, because also, look, I'm not gonna linger on it too long, but it was a big tattoo, so I don't even know what that is. That back? Is that arm? Is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, stomach, something.
And Maybe this is something that the husband would have loved. Maybe he's like, yeah, keep it, put it in the living room, right? I don't know.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would.
I also don't know how hauntings work, but I imagine. I do imagine having some of my skin means I'm gonna stop by.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, right?
If anybody ever kept some of my neck, I think I'd be like, we have to have a discussion.
For real.
Poltergeist or not, I'm coming over. We're talking about it. You know, you already have to be careful in people's houses because you never know who got the urn on the mantle or something like that. I don't know why they don't sell urns with like a lock on it. Every urn I've ever come across just been ready to be open.
Why don't they? See, in a weird way, that is a good question. Why don't they have locks on them?
A cup of sugar. We gotta start making urns harder to spill. You know what I mean? I've been in people's houses where they got, whether it's like a family member or the pet, they got the urn on like a mantle or a bookshelf, and I'm like, that's a little high. If it falls, they will be everywhere.
Yeah, I mean everywhere.
And it does sort of, I don't know. It does taint the memory a little bit if this urn fall and now you gotta Dyson him up.
You're for real.
And then put him back in a new urn with whatever was on the carpet. Just something to think about, baby. Literally, just even McDonald's cups are harder to spill.
Yeah.
Just something with a twist lock, something. Because let's be honest, unless you spread in the ashes, you never need the ashes. You know? It's not like you hiding something in the ashes and then you're gonna open up the urn, pull out the Glock. Like it's...
Oh, snap.
That'd be a wild home invasion. That'd be a wild... Imagine you're, let's say somebody, goodness forbid, but let's say somebody broke in your house or something like that, and then they've got you and the family held hostage, and maybe you did something to them. Maybe you're a healthcare CEO, right?
You always come back for that. If y'all remember last year, we do that. You always come back for that.
So then they got you tied up with your family and everything, and it's like, look, I'm sorry, all right? And they're like, sorry is not enough, you about to go. It's like, okay. All right, I get that, but okay, but a long time ago, my wife passed, and I always said that, like, whenever I go, I'd like to go with her, and she's right there. Intruder gonna be like, over there?
Over there?
Yeah, she's on the fourth shelf.
Fourth shelf?
Fourth shelf, next to Great Expectations. If I could just like hold her, I'll just, The small kindness. Let me hold her while.
Yeah, I would have checked out.
While you bow. You know?
Yeah.
The intruder's like, okay, go ahead. Go get her.
Go get her. Tippy top. Oh man.
Thanks, honey.
To be honest, that would be a wild home invasion story. Literally, I went inside my wife, pause, no, not non-pause, and pull out this 9 and let it loose. The point that you have to saying stuff like that, you have to pull out this 9 and just let it loose, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
No, it's wild. Cause now that mantle just, it's like in a frame. And I guess they're gonna put it on the wall.
I guess
that
so.
seemed just as precarious as any urn. Imagine you having a house party. And somebody bumped the frame, it fall. Now you getting yelled at. You knocked over Daddy. Everybody does things differently, and some people very differently. But once again, I don't know. I don't know if he would have loved this sort of thing, you know? But it'd be crazy to think he might be looking down like, ugh. But in case he loves this sort of thing, and in case he can hear us on 3, I'd love all of you to join me in a Go Steelers. 1, 2, 3.
Go Steelers!
Yeah. Hopefully that'll stop me from being haunted.
Oh man. Okay.
In my life I've had a lot of roommates, and it's funny because, like, I don't know, I've talked about this before, but like, roommates is like extra family because you're poor.
When you put it that way.
You don't exactly bunk up with a stranger because things are going well.
Yeah. Hey, I've been rooming with my roommate for almost 10 years. It actually be 10 years next year. And we just signed our lease for all the way from this year to next year. Let's just say it's been quite a ride. But I wouldn't change it for the world because due to the fact that he may be my roommate, but he's like my brother. So.
Roommate I've ever had has been out of necessity. And you just gotta get used to it. But it's crazy because people, the way that people are roommates is usually a clue into how they lived before, like how they were raised, potentially. Maybe they were raised to act differently than they're acting as roommates, and this is them out on their own for the first time, rebelling against all these rules they had at home when they were, younger. That's the most charitable way to put it. Like, I think mostly a lot of people are insane. And there's nothing like having like a messy or lunatic roommate and then maybe you do become friends, though. Maybe you're friends, maybe you're friendly. And then you go visit them at their house and you see that it's pretty much the same. This person is wild through and through. I had a roommate that, okay, he would...
What he do? Come on, Josh. What he do?
There would be some nights where he would sleep in the bathtub.
Was he drunk?
He had a bed, he had a mattress, he had pillows.
He was sleeping in the
But
bathtub.
he said he would sleep in the bathtub because it felt more normal to him when he would wake up from a night terror.
Aww.
And I was like, I don't know how you find that out. That means this man had night terrors and tried every room before he went tub.
Here's the thing, when it comes to people that deal with night terrors and everything, it probably would be that sense of normalcy. You may never know, to be honest.
And that was a tough roommate to have because, you know, I would go to bed at a regular time, you know, even a little late because, you know, we're young and everything. We're in college, and then I would just know I can't go to the bathroom for the rest of the night.
And that's why you will have the master bedroom. Because I would refuse. Like, hey man, I do wake up in the middle of the night sometimes to go use the restroom. I don't want to whip out my and you were in the tub. No.
No, I can't. I'm gonna have to hold it until he wakes up, and what would normally be distressing, you know, sleeping peacefully, and then hearing from the bathroom is is only made a relief because then I know, okay, he's up, I can go. A lot of people in America worry about terrorism. This is a top concern for some people, and it just depends, mostly to me at least, on when you were born. You know, and I think that within this understanding of terrorism, there are many different definitions. You know,
Yes.
One definition is someone who stokes fear and anxiety for the purpose of fear and anxiety in their enemies. And there's a lot of talk of terrorism or potential terrorism. People get called terrorists all the time, and there are some people that want to equate terrorism to one specific group, one specific religion. But I know that there are terrorists, but the terrorists that I'm talking about, they have no religion. The terrorists that I'm talking about, the terrorists that I believe already live in the U.S., they don't have some God that they call to for their purpose of doing what they do. They just do it to stoke fear and anxiety. I'm talking about people who put an empty box of cereal back on the shelf. These people...
And people have do that with ice cream too, and it makes me so mad.
have no place in our society, all right?
It's rude as hell.
I had a roommate. Last straw for me was this man. I bought some Cheerios, and I bought it for the group. We all eating out here. And so then I go to grab the Cheerios, and I'm excited, I'm hungry. And I go to grab the Cheerios, and there's a certain feeling. Anyone who's been a victim of what I'm talking about will know the feeling. It is a weightlessness of despair.
A weightless of despair is crazy.
You go to grab what you think might even be a half-full box of cereal, and in your attempt to grab it, you put too much energy, too much force into your shoulder, into your arm, into your hand. And when you put that force into your shoulder and your arm and your hand, and you grab the box of cereal and you go to lift it up, you hit the top of the cabinet. Because there's nothing in there. And not only is there nothing in there, what's been left is crumbs. And the sound of crumbs is the jingle bells of poverty, all right?
Yeah, you ain't wrong about that one.
Ooh, I've never felt poorer than when I hear crumbs.
It's like when someone leaves all but a tiny sip of juice left and put it back in the fridge. Just finish it. Just finish it.
Hearing crumbs is right out of Oliver Twist.
Damn.
Crumbs is what Charles Dickinson wrote all his best work to. I didn't even think I could hear crumbs.
But here we are.
But they have a sound. It's a mix between bread particles bouncing off each other and then a whisper. It's in a moment. It's something that almost can't be identified. And it's the whisper of those crumbs, the same way that you could split atoms or you could collide particles and make an entire boom, a bang, a nuclear bomb, and a hydrogen bomb. The banging together of these bread particles makes one singular noise, and it is the universe telling you from a point of almost quantum physics, bouncing the particles off each other, that you're poor.
Oh, man.
That's the sound of poor.
Hey.
Wouldn't you love to say yum? You'll never say it. You're too poor.
If we got to that point, I'm swinging. I'm swinging for the fences, and I don't care who I hit. Because you have to go in front of my face and shout out, "You're poor." I'm fighting you. I'm fighting you automatically. Off rip, I'm fighting you.
These are crumbs. If you've ever, in your life, out of necessity, not out of deliciousness, had to pour crumbs into your mouth, only in the Bible do I imagine this level of thirst for food.
For real.
You might as well be in the desert. Even if you are in your Pittsburgh apartment, you might as well be in the desert if you are opening your mouth, letting it hang, while an entire bag while a bag of crumbs slides and floats to your mouth. Because the crumbs that are sliding into your mouth from this bag, they have no Christianity. These crumbs are there to embarrass you. They're there to make you look and feel poor while you pour them into your mouth. Maybe that's where we get the word poor from. And maybe that's where we get the other word poor from, because you have to pour these into your mouth while you feel like the poorest person that has ever lived. And the bag is stiff because it's that hard, semi-soft plastic that they only make cereal bags out of. And because of that, it's got a lot of ridges. It's got a lot of things that the crumbs can slide and get caught up on, you know? It's a lot like when you try to get water to a new place and the water is working its way through the canyon, but it doesn't know where to go yet. It's being pushed by the other water, and this gravity that's pulling down the crumbs to your mouth has the crumbs rushing at you from all angles. Even when you try to pinch the bag. You try to pinch the bag to
It's
give
still
yourself
rushing
some
at you.
dignity. You try to pinch it and straighten it up to make a funnel for your mouth, because this is all you have. Crumbs is all you have. Crumbs is your life. And so you make it as straight as possible. You slide it down. Only when you are making a paper plane do you have this level of intent as you straighten something out. You straighten it out as much as possible, and then you dip it into your mouth, and still the ridges find a way.
Yeah, they do.
Because the devil is busy.
The devil is busy.
Oh, the devil is hard at work trying to make you look and feel poor, even if you're alone in the room. You pour the crumbs, they're rushing from all angles, skiing down the plastic to your mouth. But then something happens. You don't know if it's in the middle of the bag or it's at the very edge, because some bags, depending on what cereal you get, have smooth tops and some have ridged tops, okay? That's going to be important, because if it's a smooth top, the crumbs will slide out. If there's ridges right at the top, that means that the crumbs have one last giddy up before they get to your mouth. And so then not only do they giddy up, but you are looking for...
Let's just say you can get the... Let's just say the experience of the word that start with a B and with the E and have two Ks, and I'm just gonna... What cereal? I have to whisper it because I YouTube.
Food, you'd at least like to see what you're eating. And so you're looking down the bag, and the crumbs are like, we can go anywhere. We could go in your mouth, we could go up your nose, but we'd love to go in your eyes. And so then you're standing there with crumbs in your mouth and in your eyes, and down your face and down your shirt, because as soon as they got in your eyes, they stung, because crumbs are sharp. You might as well juggle knives over your open eyes. You know what that feels like? To be
I like how someone say yeah, because in the weirdest way, he like I say, he is right. That's why if anyone have a cereal that is particular for everybody, if there's enough left I know you don't want to fill your bowl up, and understandable. A warning would be nice to there's only a little bit of cereal left. Whoever wants it, you can have it, but it's very little. You may have to open a new bag. A warning would be nice, but nope. Just put it right back in there. And that's the whole mess of it.
Do you know what that feels like, to have to dig Cinnamon Toast Crunch out your eyes? Every cereal sharp.
Yeah.
Every cereal is sharp. And so I remember I was a victim of terrorism.
Oh, my man said I was a victim of terrorism with the cereal. Nice.
I took my crumbs like a man. But then I confronted my roommate. I said, hey. I know what you did. You know what you did. I don't know why you did it. I feel like I've been very respectful. I feel like we have a good rapport. I don't know why you would engage in such a vicious attack against my Saturday. And he was like, what? I was like, you know what? Because he did know what. Because without me saying anything else, he was like, look. I put it back, but there was some in there.
That makes
and I said, some crumbs? He's like, no, there was Cheerios in there. And then I thought, okay, maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I have accused the wrong roommate, because I have more than one. And so then I walked to the kitchen with him, because the bag and the box were laying on the ground because I obviously had to run to the bathroom and wash my eyes out of the very sharp cereal. And at this time, first of all, I need to go back. This is the second time this had happened. All right. And so first time was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then the next time it was Cheerios. That's my mistake. And so then he was like, there was some in there, and then we walk over, and the bag and the box are strewn on the floor like a crime scene. Because I had to drop them immediately. I also got Cheerio in my eye. And I was like, there was nothing. And you know there was nothing because it was only crumbs. And now the crumbs are in me and on me.
In me and on me.
And then he's like, no, there was something left. I was like, what left? And he was like, there was one Cheerio. And I was like,
punch him. Punch him hard. Punch him hard. It was one Cheerio and crumbs. Punch him. I hope you did. Because at the end of the day, that is just... Yeah, I have to agree on this one. He kind of did his low-key terrorist attack on you, man.
Now I know. You might as well be Osama bin Laden because the fact that there was one Cheerio you chose to not eat
that gave me crumbs
and leave means you're out of your mind. And then I looked, and sure enough, there was one Cheerio on the ground. One Cheerio. A single Cheerio. Like a British person saying goodbye.
That's messed up. Cheerio.
Obviously, I didn't kill him. I'm here with you now, but I thought about it.
It came across the mind.
I struggled a lot, growing up, even into like early adulthood, with an opinion of myself, with like body image and everything. It's very difficult sometimes for any young person to believe, if they don't already believe, that they are lovable or that they are good in just the way that they are.
Yeah.
Basically, that they are enough. You're still working on yourself. There's still things you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
You got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah.
But there's nothing extra you have to do to be worth anything.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to convince someone of who doesn't believe it. I wish more people believed it. If you saw yourself the way that the people that love you see you, what a beautiful world that would be,
It would. It's the reason why, it's something I always tell my fiance in general. It's like, I think she's beautiful. I think she's sexy. It's at the end, it's better to come from that for people who actually see you as you. I will never understand when people do take it an escalation of someone putting someone down just because they got rejected or something like that, or put themselves down because they got rejected. It's because here's the thing, I was the one who put themselves down because I got rejected, but it took a few rejections to realize it doesn't matter. Just keep on doing it. Keep going, and keep going. Because at the end of one rejection or 100, it ain't big deal.
And it's not as if love isn't poured into and on these people, showered with praise when something goes right. Not everyone gets it, but even for the people that do, they still struggle with body image. They still struggle with confidence. And then for the people who should have people that they look up to, maybe not giving them any of that, either being indifferent to them or actively hurting their confidence, sometimes even when you have those positive forces in your life, you still don't accept it
Yeah.
in a way that would help boost your confidence. You're like, she loves me, but that's like my mom. She biased.
Which, okay, yeah.
And I know for me, I spent a ton of time trying to work on myself in different ways. Some things that I actually needed, some things that built me up, and some things that were maybe a little bit unnecessary, you know? I really struggled to look at myself in any positive way until I got really fit. Like in my head, really, really fit. I should look like I saw other guys and I thought I should look like that. I should look like a version of that.
See, with me, I could give y'all an example as when the best way I could put this is it's when I start putting myself down a bit. And yes, I can be a fool, and trust me, I can. And but here's the thing, I probably could say this. I have to feel how I see myself. And nowadays, some people can't do that. Some people don't feel how thinking how they're supposed to see themselves. You know, there's some people who are beautiful from the inside and the outside, but they see themselves as worthless. It's a mindset. It definitely is.
At least, you know? And never mind that I'm looking at dudes who have been on their own journey or struggle with their own confidence or maybe get a little extra help to look the way that they look. I don't know. And I was never trying to be like insanely huge. I joke about being like ripped and real big, but honestly, I don't have the frame for it. Truly, I'm not tall enough to be wide. Yeah, I mean, no matter how big my shoulders got, I'd start to just be in the way. Like it looks good in the picture when you're flexing and you've got all the muscles and they're all defined and everything, but then practically in life,
it doesn't make sense.
It does start to be a problem when you're trying to walk through a door. You don't want to be on a date and see a door and go, uh-oh. How do we handle this?
Yeah.
You know, because the shoulders, the hips, they're all wide and muscular, but that door frame, oof.
If you have to literally pick
making all of them standard. I can't believe they're doing this. And then you're holding hands, you get to the door, and you're like, you first. You look like you be in a gym.
Here's the thing, I always do that with my fiance in general. Each time I open the door for her, I let her go first while still holding her hand, and she guides me in. Because I'm a big guy, but I'm not super big. No.
Man, you know, please go ahead. And then she walks through the door with ease, and you now have to figure something out. You're standing on the opposite side of the door, and you're like, oh, okay.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. If you had to go full mime with it.
As soon as you strained, you let her know this isn't going to be the life for her. I never wanted to be huge. I just wanted to be very, very fit. You know? And I worked on it. With some success, with less success. But even when I started to work out, I realized that wasn't really the issue. Now I was going to the gym, and I was eating as much as possible. and I was gaining a little bit of weight. Not much. And I was like fighting to keep looking this certain way. And I finally accepted that, like, even if I got there, maybe I wouldn't be happy. And I even discovered that through other people who I knew were there. People who I wanted to look like that were in my life, you know? And they still had all the same problems I did. And I would go to the gym and I'd see people packed in there fighting to look a certain way so they could feel a certain way. And there is a...
I mean, is nothing wrong losing weight to be fit or some same thing in general, because I know it's about to go up to with the whole thing with the Biggest Loser. And here's the thing, I used to be way bigger than this, like way bigger. And it took an acquaintance to realize, A, you need to lose weight. And I lost over 200, not 200, but I was like a really big kid. And I ended up losing over 220 pounds, like 120 pounds. And I have posted on here on my high school pictures how I used to look like. That's me after I lost the weight. You know?
A bit of a cheat code. You could try to work on feeling the way without having to fully change your entire body. You know? You don't have to earn loving yourself through like straining and potentially hurting yourself, you know? Like there's some things that there's some things that go and be lifted in therapy, you know? Like it's just and but I remember I would see these workouts, and sometimes you see people get creative. There are a couple machines that are pretty straightforward. You sit down,
Master.
You want to row, you put your feet here, and you pull. And that's the exercise right here. This is just what you do, and you do it for your back. You know, you work a little biceps in there too, and maybe if you're trying to work more of the back, you can lean forward a little, lean back a little with the pull, you know. I saw a guy sit down like normal and then put his feet in. And I'm not gonna lie, I stopped. I was like, this is about to be awesome.
I'm like, okay, this is new.
This man, I don't know what muscle it works out. It seems like it just ruins your joints, but he went.
Oh God. If you have to, hey, here's the thing. If you have to moan while working out, please just put the machine. Just stop. Just if you have to moan, you're like, hey, show them how correctly how to use this machine.
Just make sure it's clear. And it looked like it felt like it sounded.
Oh man.
This man did 8 sets of 10.
Oh, 8 sets of that. Oh my God, no.
And I watched the whole thing.
To be honest, I would too. Out of curiosity, I'm like, how are you doing that? Oh man.
Oh. There was even a time where I went to the gym and, you know, I was working out my legs differently.
Hope so.
You know, was doing I was doing some lunges. I was doing some like split squats and everything. Not much weight, but just trying to make sure that I worked out my legs, because there's some people that in all that self-consciousness and all of that wanting to build up for yourself, your body and your image, they still only work on the glamour muscles. They forget the base. They forget their core sometimes, and they definitely forget their legs. And we've been told since we were children that the legs are important. We've been told in many different ways. We've been told by PE teachers. We've been told by coaches. We've been told by parents. We've been told by cartoons. There's an entire cartoon dedicated to people who skip leg day. Johnny Bravo was trying to warn us.
Johnny Bravo was trying to warn us. Hey man, legs are important because you do have to lift with your legs. Now with your back, you lift with your legs, and that motion carries to you.
For our entire childhood, how important leg day is. That's not a structure you want. You don't want to have more hair than... So I was working out my legs, and so I'm packed into this gym with a bunch of other people, which is, look, it's very frustrating because this gym was unfortunately affordable. So a lot of people were in there, you know, and I was one of them, and I was hopeful. You know, sometimes they sell memberships all year and they're counting on people not to go. The way the gym structures are built out, it's so that you get all of these people here, but they're signed up, they don't actually show up. And so a gym is able to run fairly efficiently as long as like 1/10 of the people who are members show up at a time. If everybody showed up that was a member of the gym, if everybody started to really decide to work on themselves, it would look a lot like TSA.
Well, I mean, yeah.
There'd be very little movement. The only way to work out would be passing the weights, just you can have some. And while I was in the gym, packed in there with everybody else, there was a fire alarm that went off and some smoke that we saw. And, you know, I didn't see any fire, but 2 out of 3 signs isn't bad. And so there were only 2 exits, which in retrospect was a horrible thing. Like, there was, you could only get out through the elevator, which you're not going to take during a fire, or the stairs. And so people started clamoring for the stairs. And this is where the real fitness test began. Because there were some people that were out in a flash, but then there were other people who had been working out, so they used all their fire running strength on the treadmill. So now they see that the fire alarm is going off and there's smoke, and they hop off the treadmill and they're like, oh no.
Like, ow, everything hurts, wow. It's you have to literally like strain himself to get out the building.
And then there were other people, what I would assume people who were a bit out of their mind, that even treated the running out of the gym like a workout. There was one lady literally still looking at her watch going. And then there was me, who had been doing leg day. I tried to make my way out as fast as I could, but honestly, if I could brag on myself for a second, I had gone pretty hard. You know, I had a PR and everything, and a PR is what you don't want to have when it's time to run. Because I put the weight down, I saw everybody running out, and I made my way for the exit, and I could not stop jiggling. Like every...
Oh, Josh, no!
And yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you have to evacuate for a fire, but nobody moves like there's a fire. Even as you're going down.
I still remember there was an incident when there was a gas leak at my job. And people weren't taking it seriously. Until it happens. Luckily, before people start, until the smell got like really bad. And like, we were trying to tell them that, they wouldn't listen. They were just like, I'm like, until like, oh, it is a gas leak. We need to get it. Well, no, I'm trying to. It was weird. Let's just say that.
Stairs to like get out of the building that has smoke in it that is like clearly, at least seemingly, on fire. Mm-hmm. You still get people that do that thing that people do when they get to the top of the stairs, where now that they're clear, they just enjoy their day. If you've ever been in a walkway, there are people who can't wait. At the beginning of the stairs, they can't wait to get up there. And then as soon as they get up there, as soon as they are past the last step, they're like, oh, yes. As if there's not a ton of people behind them. Mm-hmm. And so I'm noticing, as I'm shaking and jiggling down the steps, how slow people are going down the steps. And so people do start to scream like, hey, hurry, move it, you know, fire. And then we get outside, and it was next to the door. One of the reasons everybody was slowing up was that same lady was out front near the door, just like next to the door, just run, like run.
Next, I would have pushed her out that door. Lady, there's no time to play. This is a fire. Act accordingly.
You still got the rest of the world to run. What are you waiting for? If you're waiting for your gym buddy, you left him. You left him to die.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was watching the news and I saw this. Can't really call it a debate. It was more of a screaming match. But it was on CNN. And on CNN, okay. Found the one person that works at CNN. That's
CNN.
Man, I've never heard anybody clap for CNN like that.
Not for real.
Yeah. What is that? Now, to be fair, though, look. To be fair, we don't know where our friend is from, and CNN abroad is actually substantially better. Like, when you watch CNN and you're in like France or something, it is actually like engaging programming. That we really are the only ones that do CNN the way we do CNN. I like, as an example, when you travel the world, McDonald's is still fast food. We're the only ones that made it poison.
I mean, yeah.
Every other country, they just say what happened on the news. They just tell you. They're like, oh yeah, no, then these people came, and then the other people came, and then the first people left, and the second group of people left. It's really mostly in the U.S. where you watch news, and it's like, chaos in the streets! Like every news...
What? That's the reason why I turn off the news. I don't watch news. I don't have the time to get my blood pressure up like that. No.
Segment is cutting a promo for a horror movie.
Oh,
I was watching CNN and I saw where Jillian Michaels was on there in a debate that she seemed to have started, and they were talking about changes to the Smithsonian and how art and culture shifts between who has the power to dictate how the exhibits are written, who the exhibits are of, and everything. And Jillian Michaels was like, it's so unfair that slavery in this country only gets blamed on one race.
Kind of wrong time to bring that up. And to be really honest, and yes, every group or every country has somewhat a form of slavery. But here's the kicker, what a lot of people don't want to mention, the whole thing with slavery with us black folks became international news, which horrified everyone across the world. Because when Frederick Douglass gave that speech, what they do, and show his scars, everyone around the world went, gasp, what's going on?
Look, as outrageous as that is genuinely funny.
Yeah, I give that is.
Like, look, I'm not gonna tell anybody how to feel, but if you heard the words I said, that Jillian said, and you immediately got angry, I would ask you to take a step back. I'm not gonna tell you how to feel. You can be angry if you want to be angry, because it is a very short-sighted, ignorant thing to say, but that's precisely why it's so funny. It is absolutely hilarious. But the best way I can describe why this is funny is when I was a kid, I would I would be at home alone for about 3 hours. I would get off, from school. I would do practice, and then I would get home and I'd be alone for about 3 hours, right? So for 3 hours, I was the only person in the house. And one day, I was just walking through the house. I was eating something. I think I was like eating some Easy Mac and walking, not paying attention where I was going. And I knocked over this vase. And it was a vase that my mom loved, right? And so it smashes on the ground. And I genuinely didn't know what to do, because I was like, man, I'm going to be in a huge amount of trouble. I need to think of something. And in my head, I was like, what should I do? Should I call my mom now and be like, hey, when you get home, you will want to beat me.
You will want to beat me.
But I feel like if I tell you now and you're going to be like on shift for another half hour, and then just the concern, because I never call you, I'm hoping the concern that you have that I am calling you you'll be so relieved that I'm alive, that I'm not dead, you'll want to kill me less.
Want to kill me.
You know, because having that coworker be like, it's your son, you know what I mean? And then have you be like, oh, what, my baby? And then I tell you what I'm about to tell you, and then you're like, oh, I'm just so glad you're still with us that I would hate to make it so you were not, right?
Oh, man.
That was one thought. Then the other thought was, look, I've given this whole having a family thing a good run. Maybe I dip right now. Maybe I leave home right now. And then the third thing, which is what I did do, was nothing. I went to my room and played some video games for what felt like might be the last time in a long time. And then my mom got home. I remember all the noises of her getting home. I remember the like screen door, and then the lock, and then the lock turning. and then the deadbolt turning, and then her walking in, the screen door shutting behind her, her shutting the door, her locking the door, and the deadbolt. Again, every footstep from the front door to the kitchen, because she missed it at first. And then every footstep after the kitchen back into the living room where I heard my name.
Josh?
Not my name the way you know it, my full legal name.
Oh, man, they call you...
You know what they put on your death certificate or before...
Your last name, middle name, and your first name. Yeah.
A parent kills you. My full legal name. And then I walk in.
Yes, ma'am?
And my mom is like, what happened? What is this? And then I said, oh, you just gonna blame it on me?
No. Wrong answer.
Wow. Maybe I was in there playing video games the entire time. Maybe somebody broke it, and left. Maybe I'm lucky to be alive right now.
Wrong answer.
You're just gonna immediately blame me because I was the only one here. You're just gonna blame me because it looks like it was me. And that's kind of what Jillian Michaels was doing with the whole...
Yes! Yeah, the whole thing with the Biggest Loser. Oh yeah, basically at the end of the documentary, it said that she declined being interviewed.
Yeah, that's kind of what she was doing. Can't believe you would just blame it on one race of people. And it's so funny too, because when it comes to history like that, there are always these bad actors that try to pull the thinnest straw man out of the woodwork. You know, there'll always be that person. There was a guy. I don't actually remember his name, and this is before slavery in the U.S. was more based on race, and before more people were shipped to the U.S. There was a dude that I've read about that apparently was of African descent, and he came over and he had about 2 or 3 slaves, and one of those slaves was seemingly of the Caucasian persuasion.
Caucasian persuasion.
And whether this thing is true or a myth, I've heard it my entire life when referencing slavery, that there was one black guy who had a white slave. And I'm like, look, even if that's true, that's not what it's known for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just picking and choosing how you present an entire idea. And it makes sense to me that someone like Jillian Michaels would say something like this. She is from a reality TV show. She's known for the show The Biggest Loser. Yeah, that's who she is. That coach from The Biggest Loser. You know, the nice one.
Yeah, the nice one.
The Biggest Loser was a show, I don't think it's still on the air anymore, so if you're not familiar with the show, it was a show where they would bring on people who were overweight, struggling with image and everything, and they would help them lose weight by making them do slavery.
In the weirdest way, yes. Now you put it out that, yes. Wow, okay. In the weirdest way, yes. Man, I was wondering how he waited to the last minute to put that bow on top of it to tie this back into the title. So yeah, definitely does kind of give off very much so slavery vibes. But anyway, because losing weight is difficult. Even maintaining it is difficult. And all I can say is, at the end of the day, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it's gonna come back. If you're doing it for the right reasons, you keep it up. I know it's tiring, but anyway. But yeah, awesome W video from Josh Johnson. And if you like Ian's content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Josh Johnson. I will leave the original link to this video down below so you can watch it uninterrupted. Until next time, please take care of yourself, stay hydrated, stay safe, stay warm. Peace out.
And little questions is everything they know about you. No,